Hello, my name is Tamara Buchan, and I am the director and founder of Reclaim Initiative, as well as the author of Seeking the Christmas Lamb, a family Advent handbook. And I'm really excited to be able to do this Facebook Live with you today because I know that once you discover how easy it is to get started doing Advent, you can take the step with your own life or family and see it really make an impact in your family. And I want to just welcome everyone to being here. So what is Advent? Hi, Heather. Hi, Naomi. Good to see you. Advent is Latin for the word coming, and it's designed to help us be good waiters as the holiday seasons approach. Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you just thought Christmas was never going to come? My cousin and I used to think the dishes after Christmas Eve dinner would last for an eternity. Well, this is a way to help your children get focused and to make it meaningful and memorable along the way. So why did I write an Advent resource? Because I have a powerful story to tell you. And I'm really thrilled that when I was a young mom of three very busy daughters, and I was also the children's director at a pretty thriving event-filled church, my calendar was stacked from the beginning of December until Christmas or New Year's. And after a couple of years of just the chaos, I sat down and thought to myself, you know, what's really missing is time with our family, time to connect with God and each other. And so I just started searching the scriptures, and it kind of happened on the idea of the Christmas lamb. So we just started doing it, and as we did it, and I just made up activities for our kids kind of as we went along, I saw the power of it and what it did when it drew us together. It was really fun, and they really got into it. It didn't take forever. It took us about 15 minutes per night, and yet it was a time when we were all focused around the kitchen table with an Advent wreath and really enjoying being with God and one another. And here's the point that I feel really passionate about getting out, is that when I asked my three grown daughters now, what was the most meaningful thing that we did as a family? All three of them mentioned Advent. And when I say, what was the most spiritually forming thing for you? Was it going to Sunday school or church camp or all those fun events I planned as your children's director? And they would say, no, it was celebrating Advent. So it was like a quadruple grand slam, because not only did we have time around a beautiful Advent wreath with the candles lighted, opening the scriptures, reading the reading for the day, and connecting with each other, but we were building a spiritual foundation in our children's lives by doing something that filled me up too. Do you know the thing about we can't give away the oxygen unless we suck it ourselves first? Well, Advent was really so powerful for me. It gave me more fuel or more energy to do all the hard, stressful things that come with the holidays. So why did I pick the theme of the Christmas lamb? Well, we can also call it the sacrificial lamb, because from the beginning of Genesis all the way through Revelation, you can see that the lamb is represented. In Genesis, when Adam and Eve made that really poor choice to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and they needed to be evicted from the garden, God killed his first animal. God, who created everything to live, made that sacrificial act of taking an animal so he could give them the skins for their clothing. But even greater, he gave them the blood sacrifice so they could stay in relationship with God. And that theme runs all the way through the Bible. We know that Isaiah prophesied about Jesus, the Christmas lamb, by saying, he was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is silent, so he did not open his mouth. John the Baptist called Jesus the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. The angels came to announce Jesus' birth to the very shepherds who took care of the sheep being prepared to be the sacrifice in Jerusalem. Isn't that amazing how it all set up? And you want to know something even more? Do you know why it says, and you will recognize him when he is lying in a manger wrapped in swaddling clothes? I never knew what that meant. But I read recently that it referred to when the shepherds would birth these lambs meant for sacrifice that needed to be without blemish or spot or wrinkle or without injury. They would take strips of cloth and they would wrap them and then they would lay them in the manger. And so, of course, those shepherds would recognize that Jesus was the Lamb who came as the Christmas gift and sacrifice for us. And in Revelations, Jesus is worshipped as the Lamb who was slain, worthy to break the seals and open the scrolls. So we are given salvation through his sacrifice. Okay, so there's the reason of the scriptures that we read. Now, how do you make it happen? How do you get successful in doing it? And how do you make it fun? It needs to be fun. It needs to be enjoyable for your kids and for yourself to have the good memories that fuels you to go forward the next year. So the 10 steps to a successful and fun Advent experience are found on Reclaim Initiative website page on the Seeking the Christmas Lamb. If you want to go there and you can check out what it says about the book too. So the first one is be prepared. Decide the best time to do Advent and get your supplies ready and commit to making it happen. That commitment is what you're going to need to keep going. Then second, use a good Advent resource. So of course I recommend Seeking the Christmas Lamb, a family Advent handbook. So it's not just informational. It has what you need to get started. It has a lot of background material and it's got really fun graphics as well as reflect questions for the older kids, and for the younger children, there's an activity that's simple to do each and every day. Number 3, make up a wreath and get good candles. So I recommend these candles from Concordia. They're really beautiful and they last for a long time and they don't break. I've had my own experience with seeing candles break a lot. So those are the ones that I recommend. And then if you want to make your own Advent wreath, you can get these frames for relatively inexpensive, and then you can use actual artificial greenery, or I like to cut the boughs from the Christmas tree and then use those to make a wreath so that it smells really good too. And if you want to, you can throw in a ribbon so you can make that happen as well. So those are some really good ideas. Or if you want to, you can go to a website and purchase one that's already been created for you, which is what I decided to do this year. And so what you do is then just put these 4 candles in. There's 3 purple and 1 pink. And I wish I could tell you exactly why there's 3 purple and 1 pink, but everything I've read, no one has a consensus, but it just helps to make it even all the more special. So where does it go? It goes in the place where you do life together. So if that's in the living room, put it in the living room. If you want to do it after a meal, after dinner or after breakfast, then put it there. And it will be a constant reminder that you're waiting for the God who loves you and created you to interact with you and for your family to interact as well. Number 4, prepare the atmosphere by praying in advance that God will be present and will draw your hearts to him and each other. And we all know that life gets in the way, but there's also a war when we want to connect with God and we want to worship God. And so by praying in advance, that helps to protect the space by getting ready and being prepared. Those are 2 simple wins that you can do to make it happen. And then make it fun. If you've got preschoolers, you're probably not going to get all the way through every reading, and that's okay. Just do the part that you can do to make it successful so they enjoy it as an enjoyable experience. But as they grow older, you can do more, you can talk about it more, and you can see some really meaningful times come forth. Then involve the children. Don't make this a thing that just the parents do, because the whole point is to put the Bible in their hands when they're old enough to read and have them read. Have them light the candles. Have them snuff out the candles. So I like to have a candle snuffer there, and you can do some really fun things with the candle and the smoke going up. So in the first week, you light the first candle. And in the second week, you light 2 candles. In the third week, you light 3 candles, and on it goes until on Christmas Day, you light them all, and then you put a white candle in the center called the Christ candle, and that one is the one to celebrate that Jesus has come as the Christmas lamb. Number 7, play music. You can have it playing quietly in the background. You can pick out a song to listen to at the end. You can sing a Christmas carol. And if one of your kids is playing an instrument, have them learn a Christmas carol, and then you can sing around the piano, or you can sing to the flute or the violin. Just keep involving them, because the more they're involved, the more that draws them in, and it draws you all together. Number 8, give the kids something to do with their hands. I recently spoke in a MOPS group, and I took some Play-Doh for them to play with while I did the Advent reading. And you know what? It kept them active and engaged, and then they were proud to show their worlds and their animals that they had created while we read about creation. Number 9, use light and darkness. Turn off the lights each night and read from flashlights. So one of the things that you want to have in your supplies is a flashlight, and maybe a flashlight for everyone as they get old enough to start reading. And then as you keep lighting the candles, you observe how it gets lighter and lighter each day until you get to Christmas Day, and then it's a full-flown light that you celebrate and you revel that when Jesus came, he turned the darkness into light. And then number 10, consider doing the reading yourself during each devotion time, so that you can breathe the oxygen first before you bring it to your family. See, it's really important that you don't get so exhausted that you're going on fumes, because once the mother or the father get too overwhelmed and exhausted, that's just a trickle-down effect that I've learned never comes to any good thing. So, so the supplies you need is a Bible, an Advent resource, which I highly recommend, Seeking the Christmas Lamb, an Advent wreath, the Advent candles, and of course the flashlight. So I'm going to end with giving some links to the coupon codes. And so those are going to come up in just a minute. If you want to buy 2 soft covers, those are 2 for $20. And you can get those at reclaiminitiative.com. Or if you want a Heritage hardcover, then you can get that as well with a $3 off coupon, Advent 2019. And now I'd like to pray for you, so that as you take this step, that you would experience the wonder and amazement of waiting for the God of all creation, who came to earth as a baby and was put in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes, so the shepherds could come and know that the sacrificial lamb had come, and so can we. I thank you, Heavenly Father, that your love for us is so great, that you sent your son Jesus to earth to be the Christmas lamb for us, to come as a sacrifice, to come knowing that he would give his life so we could have life. And I just pray for a breath of fresh air this Advent season for everyone who desires to have that closeness with you and that connection with one another that really solidifies what Christmas is meant to have. I bless you all and pray that you have a wonderful Advent season. Thanks for coming, and please let others know about Seeking the Christmas Lamb, a family Advent handbook found at reclaiminitiative.com. See you soon. Bye. I bless you all and pray that you have a wonderful Advent season. Thanks for coming, and please let others know about Seeking the Christmas Lamb, a family Advent handbook found at reclaiminitiative.com. See you soon. Bye.